All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to yoga. I am Delia, and we're going to start seated today. We're going to do a nice, pretty slow, gentle practice. We're going to have a lot of twists, so it's going to be really nice for the internal organs. Put a little bit of compression on them. It's going to be great for the spines. Twists are really fantastic for kind of loosening everything up in the spine, and it's going to be energizing as well. Twists can be kind of energizing to the body, so kind of balancing. So let's start seated in a comfortable seat. And you can sit up on a bolster or a block. We're just going to take a moment here to kind of settle in. And then when we start to twist, you may want to remove your prop so that you have more of a solid foundation to the mat. If you have like a folded blanket or towel, that should be fine, but anything taller than that, I'm probably going to move my bolster when the time comes. So go ahead and find your comfortable seat for now. Do any little movements you need to kind of settle into the body to begin to arrive on your mat. So any wrist circles. I'm a bit of a fidgeter myself, so I have a tendency to just fidget when I try to come into stillness. So if you're like me, go ahead and try and get a little bit of that energy out before you settle. And then when you're ready, finding your place of stillness, allowing the eyes to soften or close, sitting up nice and tall, picturing that long line of the spine and feeling it as well, feeling it from the inside. So noticing if the head is stacked right over the heart, right over the hips. And seeing if you can bring a little bit more length into the spine by just dropping the tailbone, imagining it really rooting down and through anything you're sitting on, all the way down into the mat, into the earth. And then imagining a lift all the way up through the spine, out through the top of the head, and all the way up to the ceiling. And then notice if when you start to have that lift in the top half of the body, if the chest wants to go with it. So the tendency here is when we drop the shoulders down and lift the head, our chest wants to pop out, and so do our upper ribs. So see if you can kind of draw those upper ribs in, drawing the belly button in, still keeping that length through the spine, so not letting the shoulders round forward, but just not overextending the arch in the upper back. And beginning to tune into your breath, beginning to deepen each inhale and lengthen each exhale. Maybe these are your first real deep breaths of the day. Maybe it would feel nice to quietly sigh out the exhale to yourself. Just for a few rounds. Really feeling the body and mind beginning to settle in this place of stillness. Taking a moment to think about what brought you to your mat today. What were you looking for? What were you hoping to find? What were you hoping to release? Maybe setting an intention or a dedication for your practice, remembering it can be to anyone or anything that feels right to you in this moment. Taking 2 more deep, full belly breaths here. And taking a moment to acknowledge the fact that you've gotten on your mat today. The hardest part is over. And just being present with your breath. And then go ahead and begin to find a little bit of movement in the fingers and toes. Maybe rotating the wrists. Maybe rolling the shoulders a couple of times. And then if you're sitting on anything that is a little bit taller than a folded towel or a folded blanket, go ahead and move it aside if that feels comfortable for you, just so you can have that rooted seat. And then if the eyes were still closed, go ahead and open them. We're going to take a little bit of a cat-cow circle here. So seated cat-cow circle. So I like to kind of move my hands. A lot of times when I first started teaching, when I first started learning yoga, they often tell you to just keep the hands wrapped around the front of the knees. That kind of gives you the leverage to create those circles. But I find that I can't always go forward or back as much as I need to there. So if your hands need to come to the tops of the thighs and that makes you feel more comfortable, that's totally fine. It has the added bonus of helping to gently press the thighs down. So let's start to take our circles. So circling around, whichever direction feels best to you, we're going to go both ways. So coming forward on the inhale, opening the chest, pulling the shoulder blades together, and then rolling through into the exhale, the chin tucks to the chest. So moving at your own pace or at the pace of your own breath. Really hugging the belly button in, really letting the shoulders roll forward as you go back and squeezing them together as you go forward. See if you can imagine moving from the belly button. So this movement is coming more from the center of the body than the shoulders. And when you feel satisfied on this side, go ahead and switch the direction. Seeing if your tailbone is lifting a lot while you do this, see if you can keep that grounded motion. Maybe you have to go a little bit slower to do that. Take one more round this way. And then come back to center. Sit up nice and tall. And let's go ahead and take our feet as wide as our yoga mat. And we're going to start to do some windshield wipers with the knees. So just gently dropping them side to side. My hips are a little stiff this morning. It's kind of a cold morning, so if yours are feeling a little bit stiff as well, just be gentle with yourself. Know that they don't have to fall down into any particular level. Let's do a couple more rounds to each side. And you can lift the heels and come up on the balls of the feet. This will just change the movement a little bit subtly. Or you can lift the balls of the feet, the toes, and just press into the heels. Staying with your breath. And the next time that the knees are to the right, we're going to keep them there. We're going to come into a twist. So allow the knees to come as close down to the mat as possible or the floor. We're going to take that left hand to the right thigh or knee. We're going to sit up nice and tall here. And then really subtle shift here. We're just going to sit our weight back a little bit into that left hip. So go ahead and flex both feet to protect the knees. And notice if you're starting to lean back. I'm going to exaggerate so you can see. You really still want to be mostly upright. It's just a shifting of the weight in the hips, just a little bit. So as if you're trying to sit into that left hip. Maybe twisting a little further, maybe turning the chin to look over that right shoulder, pressing the right shoulder back. Give it one more breath here. See if you can sit into that left hip a little bit more. And slowly come up and unwind. Let's take couple rounds of windshield wipers before we go into the other side, just in case our hips are still a little stiff. And then the next time the knees are over to the left, we're going to take our twist. So feet are flexed. Take that right hand to the left leg. Sit up nice and tall. Make sure you're not dumping all the weight into that left hand behind you. And then shift the weight just a little bit. So it's a really subtle movement, just a little bit sitting back into that right hip. If this is too much for you, you don't have to sit back. Just think about pressing that hip down. Maybe looking over that left shoulder. So turning the head into the twist if that's comfortable, pressing the left shoulder back. Give it one more breath. Sit into that right hip if you can. And then slowly start to come back to center, unwinding. We're going to take our feet even a little bit wider now. So knees are going to point straight up towards the ceiling. And we're going to take a little side bend, kind of quasi twist here. If you need to block under the hand, if the floor feels far away, go ahead and grab one. We're going to take our left hand into the center. Our left fingers are pointing over to the right, and we're just going to use our elbow here against the left inner thigh, and we're pressing back. So don't let that knee fall out to the left. So gentle press here. And we're going to inhale, send the right fingertips up. So think about length on that right side of the body. You don't have to be looking up here. You can be looking to the right. One more breath. And slowly release. Let's switch. So right hand comes into the center. Right fingertips are facing the left, and we're going to again press that inner thigh and that elbow against each other. And then inhale, left arm sweeps up. Think about lifting out of the hips on that left side. One more breath. And slowly release. And let's come into table. So take your time arriving. If you need a towel or a blanket, some yoga pads under the knees, please feel free to grab those. All right. Getting all set up in our table. So knees are directly under the hips. Feet are pointing straight back from the knees. Hands can be right under the shoulders or a little bit in front to avoid so much pressure on the wrists. Spread the fingers, press into all 10 knuckles, press into the tops of the feet, and hug the low belly in. So hug that belly button up towards the spine. So we're going to do a little bit of an untraditional cat-cow today. We're going to do a little balance challenge while we do it. So you can lean the weight just a little bit to the left as you pick up that right foot. Try and keep the hips level. And we're extending the right leg. So nice and strong lift from that inner thigh. Inhale here. And exhale, squeeze the knee to the nose, round the back. 2 more times. Inhale, extend, little back bend. You can lift the head a little. And exhale, squeeze the knee to the nose. 1 more. Inhale, extend. And exhale, squeeze that knee to the nose. We're going to extend the right leg again. Go ahead and release the right toes to the floor. So if you ever need to make any adjustments, like I just realized my hands were a little too close, so I scooted them forward, please go ahead and do so. We're going to draw those right toes over to the left as far as they'll go, still on the mat. And then look over your left shoulder. Get that nice side bend in the right side body. Pressing back into that right heel. 1 more breath. And then take the head back to center. Take that right foot back to center. We're going to stay here. We're going to plant that right hand strongly. And if you'd like, left hand can just go forward. Or you can twist, inhaling, sending the left arm up. Be careful not to collapse into the right shoulder. One more breath. And slowly release the left hand. Release that right knee. Take the knees together, big toes together. Go ahead and drop the hips over to the left. Look over the right shoulder. And opposite direction, drop the hips right, look over the left shoulder. Come back to center. We'll do the other side. So go ahead and separate the knees, hip distance again. And then we're going to extend that left leg long. Inhale here, press away from the floor with the hands. Exhale, squeeze the knee to the nose, round the back. Inhale to extend. Exhale, squeeze. One more. Inhale, extend. And exhale, squeeze. We're going to extend that left leg again. Release the toes to the mat. Make any adjustments you need to here. And then slide those toes over to the right as far as they'll go. And then look over your right shoulder. Deep breaths, one more. And then take the head back to center. Take that left foot back to center as well. Keep the left hand planted. If you'd like, send the right fingertips forward. Or if you want to twist, inhale, right hand reaches up. Press away from the floor with that left hand. One more breath. And slowly release. Release that left knee down. Go ahead and sit back on your heels just for a moment. If it's not comfortable to sit back on the heels, you can just come up like this. We just want to take a moment off of the wrists. Maybe take some loose fists and roll the wrists out a little bit. Maybe extend the arms with the fingers pointing down and press the wrists forward. All right. So now we're going to come back into our table. I'm going to turn this way so you can see me a little better. And we're going to be working on the right side mostly. So if you need to pad that left knee, go ahead and please do. So from our table, we're going to take our right foot out to the right. Right toes are going to be pointing forward. I'm going to scoot over a little bit more. And my left hand is right in line with my left knee. And my right foot is pretty much in line with my left knee. So we're going to inhale, send the right fingertips up, open the heart. And then release that right hand to the right side of the mat. If you want, you can scoot that right foot a little bit further to the right. You don't have to. We're going to thread the needle from here. So if you become uncomfortable, if this is not a comfortable thread the needle for you, you can go ahead and rebend that right knee and just do a regular thread the needle with both knees down. So let's inhale, left fingertips reach. And exhale, thread that left arm under, reaching over for your towards the right toes, even if you get nowhere near them. You can always use a block under the head here. And just like in regular thread the needle, you can send that right hand forward, or you can take it up towards the ceiling, getting a little more opening in the shoulders, or take it even to the low back. So think about sitting your hips back and down, breathing wherever you are. If this is too much on the leg, you can always bend that knee. Breathing into the back of that left shoulder, into the right side body. Take one more breath here. And if that right hand was lifted or on the low back, go ahead and release it down. And come out of your twist. So we're going to walk our hands back. We're going to leave that right hand extended as we come up. So I'm going to turn my right toes so that they're facing the right. You can keep your foot facing either direction that's comfortable for you. So make sure you're not locking and hyperextending that knee. Keep a little tiny bend if you know that your joints tend to do that. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up, grab hold of that right wrist, and gently pull left. So press into the right foot to help you here. You're not tipping over too far to the left. And then come back up. Release that right hand onto the right leg. It can be on the thigh or you can slide it down to the shin. We're coming into gate pose. Just do not press right on the knee. And inhale, send the left arm up. So big side bend here. One more breath. And slowly come back up. Let's go ahead and bend that right knee now. Toes are still going to face to the right. And we're going to release our hands down in front. So let's walk both hands over towards the right. Right knee is still bent. Your hands do not have to be super close to the foot. My left hand is the hand that's furthest from my foot. I'm going to keep it planted on the ground. We're going to take a twist. So inhale, send that right arm up, twisting the chest towards your right leg. One more breath. And slowly release. Walk the hands back to center. Release that right knee. Take the knees and toes together. Take a couple windshield wipers with the hips. And then we'll do the other side. So get set up if you need any padding here. We're going to be doing the thread the needle sequence first. So if you know that you don't want that leg out, you can keep it down here and then extend it when we do our other sequence. If you want to take the foot out, go ahead and extend that left foot. Make sure that left foot's kind of in line with that right knee, and right hand and right knee are in one line. So you're kind of forming a right triangle here. And then on your inhale, left fingertips reach. One more breath. And slowly release that left hand to the left side of your mat. If you want a little more opening in the hips, slide that left foot a little bit further to the left. We're going to inhale and extend the right arm. It doesn't have to go very far. And exhale, thread the needle. So right arm underneath. And if you notice that you're starting to tip forward here, that's perfectly normal. Maybe a block under the head would help. We're just thinking about sitting the hips back. Pressing into that left foot. Left hand can go wherever it's comfortable. Maybe extending up or going to the low back. Each side is different. You're kind of using that right arm on the floor to help you sort of rotate and open the chest. But see if you can relax your neck, soften the muscles of the face. Give it one more breath here. And then release that left hand back to the mat. Slowly come back up. Take your time. And we're going to come up for our gate pose and our side bend with that left leg still extended. So if you didn't have the leg extended before, you can go ahead and extend it now. I'm going to turn my left toes to the left. That's a little more comfortable for my ankle, but it's up to you. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up, catch hold of that left wrist, and gently pull over to the right. And then release the left hand onto that left leg. And again, either on the thigh or the shin, not directly on the knee. Inhale, send the right arm up, coming into your gate pose. Think about opening the heart for one more breath. And then slowly come back and up. Let's go ahead and bend into that left knee now. And we'll release the hands to the floor in front of us. We're going to walk our hands over to the left. We're going to take that twist again. So right hand is the furthest from my foot this time. I'm going to keep it planted. Inhale, left fingertips go up. I'm going to rotate the chest towards that left thigh. So taking our twist. Nice, deep, full breaths. One more. And then slowly release. Walk the hands back to center. Go ahead and release that left knee. Take some windshield wipers with the hips. All right, so go ahead and grab your blocks. We're going to come into a supported puppy pose. It's a little opener for the chest and shoulders. We've been working in the legs a lot. If you feel like it's uncomfortable for you to use blocks in your puppy pose, you're absolutely welcome to just do it without. This is just going to give us a little more shoulder opening. So I'm going to take my blocks on their lowest setting. I'm going to put them on the mat with some space between them. So I'm going to aim my elbows for those blocks. And then I'm going to walk my knees back. So my hips are going to stay right over my knees. I may need to adjust the blocks, and you may need to as well. So feel free. I'm going to aim to lower my elbows directly onto the blocks. And I'm taking my hands together and up over my head as I drop my head down towards the mat. If this is too intense for the shoulders, please come into a regular puppy pose or a child's pose, whatever feels better for you. Taking some deep, deep, full breaths. Hugging in the low belly, the low ribs. Give it one more breath here. And then as slowly as you can, start to drop the hands. Press into the elbows to come back up. Take your time. I know it's kind of an awkward transition here. Go ahead and scoot the blocks aside. And we're going to come into our seat. And go ahead and grab a strap and just keep it nearby. So we're going to come into our seat. And we're going to extend both legs out. And maybe just take some windshield wipers with the toes. Maybe point and flex the feet here. That can be a really nice way to stretch both sides of the legs. And then we're going to leave that left leg extended. And we're going to draw that right knee in. So we're coming into a twist here. Go ahead and flex through the left toes. And for this twist, I'm going to keep my right foot on the inside of my thigh. Sometimes we cross it over. If that's more comfortable for you, you're welcome to do that, but I'm going to keep mine here. Inhaling, lengthening the spine. Go ahead and take the right fingertips behind your hip. And we're going to reach that left arm up. So create length, inhale. And then on the exhale, I'm going to take my elbow to the outside of my thigh. You're certainly welcome to wrap the hand if that's more comfortable. I'm just using my elbow to deepen the twist. Feeling that length through the spine. Left toes are still flexed and active. Give it one more breath. Press that right shoulder back. And then slowly start to unwind. I'm going to drop that right knee out to the side. Make any adjustments you need to. So the left leg can be open as far as is comfortable to you. And you can have space between the right foot and that left inner thigh, or you can close that gap, whatever feels best. And I'm going to send my left hand down the left leg. And then I'm going to send my right arm up. So deep side bend here. Don't worry about how far over you're going. It's really more about feeling that stretch all along the right side of the body. And then slowly coming back up. If you have a strap, go ahead and grab it. We're going to take it around the bottom of that left foot. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. And exhale, start to fold. So you're drawing the chest down towards that left thigh. Don't worry too much about rounding the back here. If you want, you can walk the hands further forward on the strap, but we're really not trying to tug or pull ourselves into any position. We're just gently stretching the low back. You can even release the hands to the leg or the floor. Finding a gentle tuck of the chin. Softening the shoulders, the face. Give it one more breath. And then draw the belly button in from your core, that center place of connection. Start to roll up. You can release the strap, just keep it nearby. We'll use it on the other side. So go ahead and extend the legs first. Maybe take some windshield wipers with the feet. And then when you're ready, we'll keep that right leg extended. We're going to go ahead and bend the left. So sit up nice and tall here. And then take that left hand behind the left hip. Right toes are flexed. Reach the right hand up. And if you'd like, you can hook that elbow. So we're trying to bring that left knee to center. We don't want it going out to the side. So finding your twist, pressing that left shoulder back, using the elbow against the knee to help you open a little bit more. Take one more breath here. And then slowly unwind, come back to center. I'm going to drop that left knee to the side and open that right foot out. So I'm going to cheat my body a little bit towards you, even though now I know it doesn't look quite like I'm mirroring you. So I'm going to send that right hand down the right leg, find my side bend. So reaching through the left fingertips, keeping that left hip on the mat. And then slowly come back up. Go ahead and grab your strap. Let's take it around the bottom of that right leg now. So I'm going to turn my chest so that I'm pointing over that right leg. And inhale, sit up nice and tall. And on the exhale, start to fold. So drawing the chest down. It's okay if the upper back and shoulders round a little bit here. You can release the hands to the leg or floor. You can walk them down the strap. Make sure you're not pulling yourself too far down. You really just want to use gravity to help you here. Letting the head and neck go. Breathing into the low back. Give it one more deep breath here. And then slowly rolling up through the spine. You can go ahead and set the strap aside. You're not going to need it anymore. And we're going to come down onto our back. So there's going to be a choice here between supported bridge pose or regular bridge pose. We're going to do a couple of bridge rolls. So if you feel like you're going to want supported bridge, go ahead and grab a block and make sure you have it nearby. And then come on down to your back. And when you're ready, taking the feet as wide as your yoga mat. Do some windshield wipers with the knees, just releasing any tension in the low back. And then taking the feet back to hip distance apart. If you are coming into a supported bridge, you're just going to want to press into the feet enough to lift the hips and slide the block under the sacrum. If you're going to do some bridge rolls with me, we're going to scoot our feet back as close to our butt as possible. So feet are still about hip distance apart. I know it's a little harder to judge when you're on your back. We're going to press the arms down into the mat. And on your inhale, press the feet into the mat. And on the exhale, lift the hips, starting with the tailbone, lifting all the way up through the low back and mid back. Inhale at the top. And exhale, start to roll all the way down, nice and slow. Inhale with the hips on the mat. Exhale, press the feet in. Lifting up, pressing the knees forward, pressing the tailbone down towards your legs. Inhale here. Exhale, rolling down. Let's do one more. Inhale here. And exhale, press through the feet. Start to lift the hips. Inhale at the top. And exhale, start to roll all the way down. Very nice. I'm just going to scoot down a little bit further here. If you're in supported bridge, go ahead and lift the hips just enough to release the block and set the block aside. And let's go ahead and take the knees into the chest. Rock a little side to side. Maybe take a nice slow circle with the knees. And then reverse the direction. And then let's go ahead and keep that right knee in. And you can release the left foot to the mat with the knee bent. So maybe just staying here. We're coming into our half happy baby. So maybe opening that right leg out to the side. And if you'd like, you can just stay here, maybe sliding that left leg long. So that's a little gentler version of the pose. You can also keep the left knee bent and come into the full half happy baby, grabbing hold behind that right thigh or the ankle or the foot. Lately, I've kind of been switching my grip. I prefer holding onto the inside of the foot. And you're thinking about opening that right knee and gently letting it drop down towards the floor. You can stay right here, or you can extend that left leg again. If the left leg is extended and you have hold of that right leg and the foot is up, go ahead and try and press that left thigh down towards the mat. So that left leg is nice and active. Give it one more breath. And then go ahead and release your hold of the foot or the knee. We're going to hug that right knee into the chest. The left leg is going to stay extended. So if it was bent, go ahead and extend it. And we're going to take our supine twist here. So inhale, hug that right knee towards your chest. And exhale, start to take it over to the left. Right arm can come out to the side, or you can take a half cactus arm with the elbow bent. So the right hip is going to lift, but my right shoulder is going to stay down. Making any adjustments you need here. You're really not trying to press that right knee down to the floor. You're just trying to get that long opening in the right side body from the knee all the way up to the shoulder. Breathing into that space. Give it one more deep, full breath. And then nice and slow, start to take that right knee back to center. Go ahead and release the right foot and bend that left knee. Take your feet as wide as your mat and do some windshield wipers with the knees. And then we'll take our half happy baby and our supine twist on the other side. So whenever you're ready, hug that left knee in. And the right knee can stay bent if you'd like. You can just pull that left knee out to the side and keep that foot down. You can stay here, or you can extend the right leg. If you want, you can come into your full half happy baby, either holding behind that left knee or thigh, or reaching for the ankle or foot. Letting that left knee open out to the side. Bottom of the left foot is pointing straight up. And you can stay with the right knee bent, or you can extend that right leg. Pressing the right thigh down towards the mat, even if it's not touching. My leg is not fully touching, and that's okay. But I'm actively pressing down. Breathing into that left hip, into that opening in the front of the right hip. Give it one more breath. And then we're going to keep that right leg extended. Go ahead and release that left foot or leg. We're going to hold that knee into the chest. Take a deep breath here. And on your next exhale, start to take that left knee over to the right, coming into our supine twist. That left arm can open out to the side or take a half happy baby. So my left hip is lifting. I'm trying to stack my hips so they're one on top of the other, but my left shoulder is staying on the mat. So only taking your left leg over as far as you can while keeping that shoulder down as much as you can. If it lifts a little bit, that's okay. And breathing into that space on the left side. Feeling that opening between the knee and the shoulder. Filling that space with the breath. One more deep breath here. And then slowly draw the belly button in, draw that left knee back to center. Go ahead and release that left foot, bend the right knee, take your feet wide and do those windshield wipers one last time. We're going to be heading into Shavasana, so if you need any other poses on the way there, go ahead and take them. If you need to take a full body stretch or draw the knees into the chest, you can. Otherwise, making your way into your comfortable Shavasana using any props to support you. Allowing the eyes to soften or close when you arrive. And let's all take a deep, deep, full breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Deep, deep, full breath in. Long sigh out. And one more time, deepest breath you've taken so far all day. And let it go. Allowing the breath to settle back into its natural rhythm. Allowing the body to begin to settle and release into your mat. And taking a gentle body scan, noticing any places where you might still be holding any tension, any tightness. See if you can soften those areas, even 5% more. Just letting the body melt into your mat. Softening the muscles of the face, the space between the eyebrows and all around the eyes. And letting the jaw and the chin release. And letting the shoulders and hips grow heavier, the whole back body growing softer. Feeling that support of your mat. And letting the front body open. Relaxing the fingers and toes. You can give them a little wiggle if you'd like before finding stillness again. Taking a moment here to digest and absorb your practice. Integrating anything that served you, leaving behind anything that didn't. Slowly beginning to deepen your breath again. Feeling the belly gently rise with each inhale and gently fall with each exhale. And beginning to find any movements that feel good in the fingers and the toes. Maybe rotating the wrists and the ankles. Maybe reaching the arms overhead, pointing through the toes, taking a full body stretch. Or drawing the knees into the chest. And bending the knees whenever you're ready, if they aren't already. Making your way onto one side. And using your top arm to gently press yourself up. And coming back to your comfortable seat. Sitting up nice and tall when you arrive. Allowing the eyes to soften or close. Stacking the head over the heart, over the hips, and noticing how you're feeling in this moment. If it's comfortable, drawing the hands together at the heart. Taking a moment of gratitude to yourself for making this time, this space, to deepen your breath, to deepen your practice. I thank you so much for letting me guide you, for joining me on the mat today. Namaste.